Hi, this is Anupta, and today I'm here to talk about Dowa AI. And Dowa AI is essentially like a storybook illustrator, storybook creator and illustrator. So the basic idea is that you would be having a particular story, and the story book gets created based on particular setup. It supports read aloud and MCP automations. It supports multiple languages like Hindi, Chinese, Malayalam, Spanish, English, and French. For now, we can add more languages as necessary. So why did we create this, right? We're an immigrant family living outside of a lot like major country, and my wife speaks a different language. I speak a different language. The my child speaks a different set of languages with his friends. Uh, so we don't have a lot of resources to teach our child my native tongue or my wife's native tongue or other languages that he want to learn, and it's extremely difficult to find those books in the local libraries or the public libraries, right? So we created this essentially to solve the problem that many millions of immigrants face the same issue at multiple places. So why do we use agents for this thing? So the reason why we particularly go for agents is that each job requires its own model and quality part. So the illustrator need to be meeting as a particular set, and the story creator needs to meet a particular quality. Now, only a multiple agent can solve this, and the assembly takes its own set of that thing. And you have to be devoid of stereotypes and gender biases that gets crept into particular storytelling because LLMs are again a predictive machines. Um, for the build and deployment, we mainly use Docker extensively for the build and deployment. These are extensively tested via unit test. For safety and securities, we use Pydantic to validate the JSON input. We do a little bit of red team testing. And modeling is essentially safeguarded against gender and cultural biases, right? And every critique actually has like a hard gate so that stereotypes cannot be outvoted by a good law. And that can be seen over here in the anti-gravity ID. So you can see the critical instruction specifically asks it to do say child safety and absence of gender stereotypes, then the build story refinement, and these are the loops. The validation checks that only the preset things are actually coming in. And if the test, we do a little bit of red teaming over here so that to prevent jailbreaking or anything happening. At the server side, it's a bunch of preset values only. You cannot actually prompt inject into the model. Now let's go for the demo. All right. And this is the anti-gravity 2.0 where I'm using MCP to call and create like a story. So this is the story. Today my son had a bad day at school. She was not able to solve a mathematics problem. Can we create a story about perseverance with some animal characters? Use watercolor style with setting in China and in Malayalam. So the Asian Gemini 3.5 Flash actually set up a bunch of characters based on my requirement and then set up the model and theme, then the setting, and then the language and the style. And for 30 seconds, and it keeps on polling essentially the server for updates. And once the server was actually done, the storybook was actually created, and you can see the storybook over here. It was brought here. The character sheet is here, and the style swatch is also over here. Now, if you go to the UI, you should be able to see that this is the particular UI that we are going ahead with. And this was the story that was created using the MCP agent, right? So you can see that there are 8 pages and it's a watercolor style. And if you keep next, and you can also read aloud and it will be reading aloud in Malayalam.
ലീ വേഗത്തിൽ പണി ആരംഭിച്ചു. പക്ഷേ മടക്കാനും മുറിക്കാനും പാടായിരുന്നു. ലീ വേഗത്തിൽ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ മഞ്ഞ കടലാസ് കീറിപ്പോയി.
There are 8 pages, and it's a concise and precise story. It doesn't actually drift a lot. It doesn't drift at all. Now, if you go back to the home, this is the UI that we are going ahead with. The reading age can be set over here. These are the preset values. And the bunny QTS, you can change the trait of the character. You can have a setting and you can have languages, you can have themes, you can have it in like claymation, folk art, extra. Well, that's it. Have a great rest of your day.